Hello, my name's Lauren. This is Michael. We're from African Tales Animal Welfare Organization based in Cape Town, South Africa. We would just like to tell you a bit about what we do and what we focus on. And yeah, so we focus on four key areas. The first being sterilization, which we believe is the proactive way in trying to curb the big problem that we face, which is overpopulation of dogs and cats. And with that being such an issue, it leads to the big issue, which is cruelty, neglect. Obviously, all the animal welfare is, getting so full of unwanted animals that we need to try and adopt out. So sterilization is really key in trying to curb that. Then with that comes the rescuing of animals, the rehabilitation of the animals, and then rehoming. So I would say those are the four key areas that we mainly focus on. There's also education, but that goes hand in hand with all of those. And yeah, so since 2009, African Tales have sterilized around about just over 17,000 dogs and cats. This is during sterilization campaigns in isolated areas that get chosen where you sterilize above 70% of the breeding population to try and make a real difference in the breeding community. And yeah, so those different areas get focused on. Over 70% get sterilized, and yeah, those are the campaigns. Then we also do sterilization days at our office in Brooklyn, where we sterilize animals there, whether it's animals that have been rescued, are going to be adopted in foster care, as well as helping the local community who cannot afford to sterilize their animals. And with us, we would be the only opportunity that they get to have those animals sterilized. So we often, we try and fit in as many as we can during those days as well. And those campaigns that we do, just to go back to that, are there a lot goes into it. Michael plays a huge role in those campaigns. He's been part of a few that we've done. There are a few things, yeah, really important things that get done on those days. And maybe Michael, you can just tell us a bit about what goes into a day like that, especially for you and the responsibilities you have.
Oh, thank you very much. So what we would do is we would sign up animals, collect them, sterilize them, aftercare, and also drop them off at home with blankets. And we also do provide shelter for animals who do not have any form of shelter. And yeah, there's more to it. I'd say there's also things like chicken-free products, and also we do provide food for animals or owners who cannot afford. So I'd say that's our role
Yeah.
in these campaigns.
Education obviously is a big
Education,
one.
yes,
You're
yes,
always
yes.
educating
Yes, yes,
the
yes.
animal, the pet owners on, what to expect with those days and what to expect when you bring the animal back and who to contact if there's any issues. And yeah, so you play a vital role, a lot of driving, a lot of
Yes, yes,
educating,
yes.
a lot of carrying. Um, yeah, so a lot goes in that with you when you're in the field. So, Michael, what would you say for these sterilization campaigns and, after being involved with them and seeing how everything works and going through it all, what would you say is the most challenging parts of these campaigns and the most rewarding parts?
Okay, I would say the most challenging part would be when we come across sick animals. Whenever we get to these areas, and then the problem in most of these areas where we do these campaigns, they do not have any vets. So now we would have to be two staff members that are leaving the rest of the team to see to that sick animal, and then a big challenge logistically. And then another challenge I would say would be the safety in these areas, because we're not aware of these areas and anything might happen. So those are the two challenges.
Yeah, you're
Yes.
always on edge because you don't
Yes.
know, exactly how the community works and are they going to,
And also, let me add to that as well, and also the people that are refusing to sterilize their animals. So that is another challenge.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's trying to convince them. You do
Yes.
try, you educate, but then sometimes you get aggro and then there's just no convincing and you feel like
And
you failed in that part.
yes, and most of the time I would say it's the people that are breeding with these animals
Yeah.
that are most likely to refuse
Yeah.
to sterilize. So that would be another challenge.
Yeah, it's a good for challenges for those campaigns, but there must be lots of rewarding things.
Yes, yes. I would say the most rewarding thing is to try and maintain the population and also get a chance to see to these sick animals and help them. By the time we leave the areas, at least we know that they are in good health.
Yes.
So-
And then you bring some back like these
Yes,
guys and they
yes,
have
yes,
like
yes.
absolute amazing change of life.
Yes,
And
yes.
that's also really rewarding.
Yes.
So yeah, and then with rescue and rehabilitation, a lot of animals like the ones that are walking around here actually happen to be rescues from either campaigns or just from the street on a random day. So Gracie also comes from African Tales, and she was dumped in a box in front of somebody's house in Brooklyn, that's where our office is. And they brought Gracie to us in a box, and she actually wasn't in a bad condition. She was about 8 weeks old. So we're not sure why she was dumped, who dumped her. But yeah, then she went to foster care, which was my sister, and ended up being a foster bail, and she's here 7 years, later. She's here. And this is where she lives now. And yeah, luckily she was a very straightforward rescue. There were no health concerns or anything that I can recall. But yeah, she was just a little puppy dumped. Another statistic of somebody that, couldn't keep her, or she was just bottom line unwanted. And yeah, unfortunately, we never found exactly where she came from, who the mom was, and just try and get the mother sterilized, which is something we've always tried to do, but we couldn't locate her mom. So unfortunately, yeah, that's Gracie's story. And Annie, here comes Annie. Annie's actually Annie Shem. So Annie is not from African Tales. She's from another organization that I worked at before coming to African Tales. She is actually what they would call a possible lurcher. She came into this organization very emaciated, very sick. She was found very close to where the organization is. On the side of the road is a puppy. She's now already 12, going on 13. And for such a large dog, obviously, that's quite hectic. It's quite good. She's obviously quite old now, so she's losing a little bit of weight and she's, struggling a little bit. But right now she's okay. When she was found all those years ago, she was really bad. Emaciated, and she had very similar symptoms to parvo, but she didn't have parvo, but she had those sort of symptoms. Everything was just running through her. She also was diagnosed after that with having tick bite fever as well as Ehrlichia down the line. So she went through a lot as a puppy, and she was also a foster that my sister was fostering at the time, and she got her looking amazing, and she ended up staying as well. So yeah, all these years later, shame, as a senior, that's Annie, she's still here. And then we have Finn, who was a rescue from African Tales as well. He's got 3 legs. He was actually rescued, it was in 2018 when we were finishing up our Mumray sterilization campaign. We sterilized just under 2,000 animals there under 2 years, well, over the space of 2 years. He was one of the puppies that we came across. He was just dragging this leg that's no longer here, dragging it around, and it had a big sore on it, and we removed him. And after many vet visits, to make sure we knew exactly what was going on with his leg, it turned out that there was a break in the joint, but besides that, it was like that so long that there was literally no nerve. There was so much nerve damage, it couldn't be repaired. And after a good few opinions, we were told that his leg needs to be amputated. So my sister fostered him again, and his leg was amputated. And honestly, since the day the leg was amputated and the day he was fetched from the vet, it's like it didn't even bother him that much. He hopped towards my sister when she collected him, and he was so happy to see her. And ever since then, he's been doing so well on 3 legs. He's already, he's 7 years old. And And he's doing so well with these three little legs, and obviously keeping his weight in check and all of that's very important. And yeah, so he was another statistic of an animal we found during the sterilization campaign. During that memory phase, there were many animals rescued, and he was just one of them. And yeah, so that's about it for these guys. Yeah, they're all rescues. They all ended up being foster fails, and they're all happy today, and they all have different stories. So yeah, we would just like to thank you, Joe, Janice, Lior. Thank you so much for organizing this bagel fundraiser for us. Thank you so much for the three of you, as well as everybody that's attending this fundraiser, for supporting us, even though we're in South Africa. And yeah, that really means a lot that you support and believe in the work that we do here in South Africa. We really appreciate it, and we hope you guys had the best bagel making day, and that it just turns out to be really fun, and know that you're doing something really good by hosting this day in aid of African Tales, and we are so thankful. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for all the support you guys have given us. We'll try our best to keep changing lives. Happy bagel making, and you guys are awesome. Thank you.
That's good.